Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining. My name is Arthur Kolker, and I am the founder and CEO of StayFi. And today's webinar is about text and email marketing for short-term rental hosts, operators, and rental managers. And I will be going over a quick agenda for today, and then we will actually be jumping in to StayFi to build email and text marketing campaigns in our tool. Although keep in mind, any of the things we do in StayFi, if you use another tool like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, all the basic principles are going to be the same in those tools, although some of the exact details might be different. Everything we do here can be replicated in just about any tool that you happen to be comfortable using. And then, of course, if you like what you see with StayFi, I'll show you how you can sign up and use the tools that we offer short-term rental companies. Just quick background on StayFi before we dive in. Founded StayFi in 2018 to help short-term rental operators achieve listing site independence. What does that mean? Obviously, people love using OTAs like Airbnb and Vrbo to generate bookings, but we want to make sure that our customers are never dependent on one source for all of their bookings. And so our main goal is to help people collect guest data and drive more rebookings directly to their short-term rental business. We offer tools to do that, whether it's email marketing, SMS marketing, which is what we're going to be focused on today. And then StayFi has a whole host of other Wi-Fi performance, occupancy alerting, things to help you manage Wi-Fi that we're not going to talk about today because today is all about guest marketing for short-term rentals. What are the goals for today? So what do I hope you guys can all take away from after today's webinar? Number one is learn how to set up what I'm going to call email automation in our email tool. So you can do set and forget it marketing. Number one constraint I see for our customers is lack of time and resources. And so your time is precious. There's high opportunity cost to investing in anything. So I want to show you how you can invest some time in email marketing one time and have it deliver dividends and returns for years to come just based on developing content once. And while I'll show you this in StayFi, you can replicate it in MailChimp or any other tool that you might already be using if you want to keep using those, which is fantastic. I'm going to show a little bit how you can use data personalization, sometimes called merge fields, in emails and text marketing to make them feel custom and special for guests when they're actually generic templates. And that can, again, make your precious time and energy build towards something that gives you high return with some upfront effort. And then in StayFi, we'll cover some text marketing features just to show you how you can amplify what you're already doing in email marketing, as texts have really high read and open rates. Just a little background before we go into the actual tool to show you how you can build campaigns. How is email marketing done in StayFi? We built our email marketing tool in partnership with two companies, one Switchback and one Campaign Monitor. Switchback is an email marketing agency that specializes in short-term rental email marketing. And that means they've really given us some advice on how to build the templates, automations that short-term rental companies can use to generate the highest return. And they offer additional services. So maybe you might leave this interested in doing email marketing, but still wanting extra help. You can actually hire Switchback through our tool to help you get started with email marketing or manage your campaigns. So we offer the flexibility of self-service or fully managed or anywhere in between with the help of Switchback. And then Campaign Monitor is the technology behind the tool. So what's actually doing the sending and creating templates and all of those types of things. And the way we've priced this in StayFi is that it's cheaper than the equivalent plan in MailChimp and much cheaper than going to Campaign Monitor directly for the same thing. So if you want to use our email marketing tool, you can sign up for StayFi, and you actually don't need to use our Wi-Fi tools to use this. So if you're not ready to do Wi-Fi marketing yet, but you just want cheaper and more effective email marketing tool, you can go to stayfi.com, sign up for an account, and just use us for email marketing. And I'll show you how to do that shortly. Then we'll dive into text marketing, which will be kind of the end of the presentation, just simply show you how you can use StayFi to send different text campaigns. And the same principles that I show you here, you can also use through other text marketing tools you might already be using outside of StayFi as well. Just some results that people see after using StayFi before I jump in to show you how this all works. One of our customers in Texas reports after using StayFi, they've grown their business from 0% direct, almost all Airbnb and Vrbo in their case, to now being 25 to 30% direct every month. And one operator in Canada, which already had a robust direct booking program, she's completely moved off OTA. So in her peak season, she's able to do 100% direct bookings now that she's been using StayFi to collect that extra guest information through Wi-Fi captive splash pages. So now we're actually going to jump into StayFi and show you how you can build email marketing campaigns and particular automation campaigns. So I'm going to be doing this through one of our customer accounts called Fernie. Before I jump into the email tool, I just want to show you kind of how we take the data out of the emails that we're collecting and send them into email marketing. And one of the key ones is merge fields. So when you create properties in StayFi, you can associate different variables with them, things like the direct booking website listing URL. So the listing for each property, basically, what's the URL on your website to book this property? And if you use a guidebook like TouchStay or Hostfully, you can have that link here as well. And basically what that will enable you to do is whenever you communicate with a guest through one of our marketing tools, you can send them the unique link for booking that property or accessing that property's unique guidebook. So that lets you do really cool messaging that looks like you're writing one-to-one messaging, but in reality, you're just filling in certain fields with this custom data that makes your messaging more personalized, and I'll show you how that works in the email tool in a second. So now jumping into the email marketing tool, which I'll give you a quick tour of before we actually start creating some campaigns. In StayFi email, you can see, pretty easy to navigate dashboard here, and I'm going to start in the subscribers section. So this is where you see all the data that you're collecting. And there's kind of two ways to get data into here. One is if you're using StayFi for for Wi-Fi, you're going to have all the Wi-Fi emails you collect from guests automatically added to a guest list here. And then let's say you have emails outside of your Wi-Fi guests, or you just want to use StayFi for email marketing and not use our Wi-Fi tools, you can create a list and import a CSV or write in, additional guest records here. So you can import data from any other source, or maybe when you want to transition off MailChimp, you can, upload all your guests here. Within the subscriber list from Wi-Fi, if I open this one, you're going to see there's 9 custom fields that come in with each guest. So every time someone logs into the Wi-Fi, we're going to get their name, email. We're going to get the property they stayed in, the property group, which would be like a city or a building, the date they were there, birth date, if you're collecting it, phone number, if you're collecting it, over 18, if you're collecting that, as well as the link to book the property that they are currently staying in on your direct booking website, the link to the guidebook if you use Hostfully, TouchStay, Folio, or a similar tool, as well as the source. So in this case, the source would be StayFi Wi-Fi. And all of these fields can be dynamically inserted into any email content, which I will show you how to do shortly. And these are the called personalization tags. So if you want to insert a link to the property's guidebook, you would just copy and paste this into an email. Or if you want to insert a link to the listing URL, you would insert this piece here. You can, of course, do things like names, which is super common, like, hey, John, how are you doing? Insert that into a template. Automations is where we set up automations or guest journeys, and that's what we're going to be building today. So basically a welcome journey to email every single record that joins one of your guest lists. Campaigns is where you send one-off campaigns. So you just want to email all your guests a periodic newsletter, you would trigger them from here. And templates is where you build templates. And that's what we're going to do right now, is actually build a email marketing template for an automation. The goal being to greet every single guest that logs into the Wi-Fi with a series of emails that are sent automatically. And that way you can set up emails one time and make sure every single guest that stays with you is getting that content learning about your direct booking brand, how to book again, and upsell other content or material to those guests. So creating a template is super easy in our tool. And I'm actually going to use their kind of custom template builder here. So you can just paste in the URL of your website and it will kind of pull some data from your own company. Here, it didn't pull in exactly the logo I wanted. So I'm going to insert a logo here for the company that I'm building this for. And actually looks at the colors of my website and it can like detect, what I want the button to be. So I'm going to pick this one and I'm going to hit create branded templates. It's actually going to create a few templates for me, which then I can start filling in with the content that I want to share in this email. So you can see here they have some like more plain text emails, and then this one with images, which is for travel. So I'm actually going to use this one. And if I go to templates, you'll see it actually created a copy of all of these here. So then I can go edit them. So I'm going to edit this new one that I just created. And I've actually already decided, just to make this demo go as fast as possible, I've already decided all the images and text I'm going to put in this email. But I'll show you how simple it is to just edit this content. So I want to replace this image. I want to say, welcome to Fernie. We hope you enjoy your stay. And then here for this button, I actually want to direct the guest to the guidebook for this property. So I'm going to change the name of this button to your property guide. And then if you remember, we had those personalization tags. And for the guidebook, I'm just going to paste it in here. So you can see here, it's going to insert the guidebook URL. But let's just pretend like I messed up and I didn't have a guidebook URL for this one property or guest. There's a fallback URL. So if there happens to be no guidebook URL, it will then just send them to my website. And then below, I'm going to just copy in some more text here that I've already created. And you can see here, there's actually already a personalization tag for the first name. So it will be, whatever the first name of the guest. And then if there is no first name, it will say hi there. And then I have a phone number I wanted to put here so the guest knows how to reach out to us. And then let's just pretend I want to upsell one of our partners in the area. So perhaps we have a ski and bike rental, a partner, or other upsell that maybe you guys run yourself, whatever that is, or maybe use a tool like Mount. There's so many out there. So basically an opportunity to do upsells here. So I am going to just paste this text in that I already wrote. Or bike and ski rentals, copy in some more text. And then I can make sure that I want to have these images linked to the website where we're doing this. And here I have like saying that we have the special code with them. And then just to make this quicker, I'm going to delete this section because I don't need 3. And I'm just going to have one more section reminding the guest that they can book direct and save. I already wrote some copy here about why, if they're planning another trip to Fernie, they can save 10+% by booking directly with us. And then I will replace this image with one of the properties. And I will make sure that I link this image and the button here to our website. And then down here, there's a bunch of options to link to your social media accounts. I'm not going to fill these out right now, but let's pretend I only have Facebook and Instagram. So those are the only 2 buttons I'm going to present. You just put your links in there. And then down below, you can customize the footer here. So I don't need this free text. So, I'm not going to do it right now, but you would just put in some extra information here. And then every email, of course, has unsubscribe preferences in it. So, let's say I'm done editing this email. I'm super happy. If you hit preview, you can actually see what this email will look like on desktop. And I really love this phone modal. There's ways to like style these buttons so they would be centered if you don't like them left adjusted. So you can just check and make sure that whatever you're sending is super friendly on mobile because that's actually how most guests are going to see it. Then I hit finish a template, and so this one is done. So I finished creating this template. So this is the template I want to send to every guest after they log into the Wi-Fi. So how do I do that? If I go to automations, I want to create a new automation, and there's different types. Journey guides, welcome journey, custom journey. So you can set all sorts of different rules about who gets what. I'm doing a very simple one, so it's going to be a welcome journey. And I'm going to say I want this to send to my StayFi guest list because that's everyone who joins the Wi-Fi. Of course, if you have, there's ways to build, I'll show you in a second, but you can have like a way to collect emails on your website, and that could go to a different list, and then you could trigger a different automation for everyone who inserts their email on the website. So I'll show you that in a second. But this is for StayFi guests, so people logging on the Wi-Fi, which means we know they're in property. And the rules here are really simple. It's just whenever someone joins, it's going to wait 5 minutes. Of course, you can change this. And then we'll send them this email. I actually don't want to send them this kind of pre-baked one. I want to change it to the template I just built, which is right here. Actually, not this one. There we go. Say return to journey. So now it's replaced this template with the welcome email I just created. And then let's, then here you just can say it, this is the name of the email, the subject. So I'd be like, thanks for staying with Beyond B&B. And then, even you can even insert those kind of like first names into the subject line here. So if I want to be John, thanks for staying, you can have the first name actually in the subject line, which will usually increase open rates. This is the email it's going to be sent from, receptionist. So obviously, if you have a different like sales or whatever your email you want to send from, you can do that. Then I'm done with this email. And then let's just say I want to send another email in 30 days. I can add another one to the series, and I'm only going to do 2 for this demo, but you can get, I've seen people do automations of 10 emails, right? Because they just want to create 10 emails one time and make sure all their guests are getting this content, with different reasons to come back to the location, offers they're having, featuring different properties. You can get very creative in what you want to include in these emails. And I've actually already created this email, so I'm going to add this one down here. And I'll show you why I made a plain text email in a second. So before this demo, I went in and created one other email, and it was a plain text email. And you might be wondering, why would you create a plain text email when I have all these fancy templates with pictures? It's because most people are going to use Gmail. And if you have a Gmail account, I'm sure you've noticed there is a personal kind of like normal main inbox, sometimes a social inbox and a promotion inbox. How Google decides what to sort in which box is based on the content and of each email, and things that are sent to the promotion inbox have lower open rates than the main inbox. And the kind of one of the key triggers for promotional emails is promotional text, so like discount, save, buy this, item, whatever, as well as pictures. So by sending a plain text email, it vastly increases the chance my email will be sent to the main inbox for Gmail, not the promotions inbox, and you'll see considerably higher open rates. So I always like to integrate a plain text email into an automation series. In this one here, you can see how I've used the data we've collected to personalize it. So, hey, John, thanks for staying with us at property name in property group. So this case could be like at condo 123 in Fernie, because that's the name of these things in StayFi. My name is John, and I am the reservations manager here at Beyond B&B. I wanted to check to make sure your trip went well. If you are planning a return trip, feel free to email me back directly. I can make sure you get the best rate by booking direct versus booking on a site like Airbnb or Vrbo. Look forward to hosting you again. I'm telling you, a lot of times people don't want to book through your direct booking site. Maybe you're using a PMS and the direct booking site isn't as professional as you want, or the checkout flow isn't as seamless as Airbnb. But people do love um, responding to your email and just saying like, hey, actually, I am planning a trip back. Like, what availability do you have on these dates? And then obviously you can start a booking conversation from there. So integrating these plain text emails will actually get a lot of people to respond directly to you about their next trip. So I'm going to continue and return to my journey. And instead of sending it from receptionist, I'm going to send it to John. Let's pretend he's the name of one of our sales folks or guest agents or whatever happens to be in your case. And then you can change the subject to be whatever you want. And then I hit save, and then we're done there. And yes. Oh, yes, here we go. That's what I was missing. So now I've set up the welcome email, then 1 in 30 days, and then obviously you can keep adding them. There's some other conditions you can like insert here if you want to get fancy. Things like did the you can set up a condition even like let's pretend you sent an email and you want to send the same email again to people that didn't open it. You can like fork it so that like people that didn't open it will then receive like another email. So that's kind of more advanced in the conditions section. For most people, I would say to get started, I would just create a series of 2 to 10 emails that every guest will just automatically receive after signing up for the Wi-Fi. And then once you're done or you're happy, you can turn on the journey. You can also, let's say you only have time to set up 2 today, and it's been 20 days and you're ready to create more, you can add more subsequent steps. So it doesn't have to just be one time. You can always come back and add more emails here. I can actually show you the automation journey that's been running here for this customer. And one of the craziest things, if you look at the stats here, is how high the open rates are for this email series. I'm sure if you've done email marketing before, you're used to like 15, 20% email open rates. But when you send the email after the guest joins the Wi-Fi, they tend to open it immediately because you're really tying it to a real life event. You're not just sending them, an email newsletter every month. And so we find that these have crazy high open and click-through rates, which is the other reason why I recommend sending them. And you can see here, they've gone very picture light, which is the other reason these are probably going into the main Gmail folder and not the promotions folder. So that's why they're perhaps also getting an even higher open rate than we typically see. I will then just show you quickly, let's say you have your StayFi subscribers here. Let's say you want to have a new list, and then you want to collect guests, or not guest emails, any emails from your website. There's a section called sign up forms, and you can have a form that, like, let's say you want to have a pop-up. You can design your pop-up here. It will give you this little code, and you embed this code into the header of your website. And if you don't know how to do that, if you have like a PMS website from OwnerRez or Guestia or whoever, they all have the ability to insert this type of code into the header or footer of the website. So all you need to do is just create this form, get the code, get it on your website, and then everyone who comes to your website, they'll get this pop-up at a certain point, and you can like change the conditions here to be all sorts of different things. And then you'll start collecting emails on your website, which you can do, through a few different types of forms here, and then all the emails will go into this new subscriber list, and you can have a different automation that you create for website subscribers, because obviously you're going to want to send a website subscriber different content than you would send a Wi-Fi subscriber because someone on the website isn't in the property. Campaigns, as I mentioned, are just one-time emails you can send to all your subscribers, or you can make segments. So if you do perhaps have different property groups in StayFi, you can send one email to your Invermere guests and another to your Riverside guests, just depending on how custom you want those segments to be. And then if you are kind of, let's just say, overwhelmed, or you're not sure where to start, or you need extra help, our partners at Switchback offer a few different packages. One is just training you on how to use this, so basically, and more in-depth, and ask your questions about what to do. And that's this light onboarding. Premium onboarding, Switchback will actually make a custom branded template for you. And when I say custom branded, basically is a huge template like in this section here, which has a billion different options on how to build out an email. And you can see here, these are all kind of the existing designs that are in here that you can start with, but they'll create like a super custom one to your brand. And then you can also pay Switchback to do fully managed marketing, which is more popular, I'd say, with larger property managers, where Switchback's just creating 2 emails for you a month and you're just handing it off to them. So a ton of different options. If you want to get some custom kind of branding help to get started, you can use Switchback, or of course, you can do it all yourself because it's all pretty straightforward and easy to use, as I was just showing you guys. Before I jump into text marketing, I feel like we should just wrap up the email marketing section and see if there's any questions. And I see Oliver's already been answering questions. Different edit options for desktop and phone view of campaigns. No. So when you edit or create a template, it's going to automatically create the version for desktop and the version for mobile. And then you can see in the preview how it's being represented there. But I'd say the builder in Campaign Monitor is pretty simple. So nothing is ever getting, there aren't like so many crazy like elements that don't work in mobile. I'd say it's pretty, to me, feels very mobile first. So everything is kind of designed to work first on mobile and then be represented in desktop. So I haven't seen any elements when building emails that like don't represent well in a mobile view. So that does make it easier in some respects, because there's nothing that's going to be, none of the kind of like widgets or options you put in here are going to look bad in a mobile form. Yes, we do have live support in StayFi. So, if you have questions or need help with us, we can go through that like when you get there in the tool. And then we also have a bunch of videos about how to create different items. So if someone can't get back to you immediately, we can send you different videos or content to help you build whatever you're looking to do. Awesome. Now we're going to jump into text marketing. So I know there's a lot of content with email marketing, but I wanted to show you just how simple it is to create campaigns, especially in email automation, and start marketing to all the guests that you have in your properties or signing up on your website. And so I'm going to jump over to a different account to go through text marketing, because I want to show you an account that's using all 3 of the different campaign types we offer in StayFi. So if you happen to want to use text marketing in StayFi, you're going to notice on all your splash pages an additional text marketing phone collection, as well as opt-in for SMS. So the one big difference for text message marketing is we have to get opt-in from the guest, and the guest has to be able to opt out here, because there's just different rules governing text message marketing versus email marketing. So in general, your subscription rate or like opt-out rate is going to be higher for text messaging than email marketing, but your open rates are going to be much, much, much higher, which you'll see here. And there's 3 types of campaigns in StayFi. There is a welcome campaign, a review campaign, and just a send all my subscribers a text message campaign. And we're going to first look at the welcome campaign. And this is designed to automatically send all the guests that log into the Wi-Fi that opt in a text message with whatever information you want. And just like with email, you can insert a bunch of custom fields. So in this case, it's welcome to Duvet Club first name. Enjoy 5% off your next stay by using this code when you book again. And you can see here on the little mobile viewer what it will look like. But let's say you wanted to send the guest the link to the listing URL to book again. We have that option here to insert into the text message, as well as the guidebook URL. So if you do have those unique guidebooks for each property and you want to make sure every guest is getting access to your Touch Stay guidebook or your Hostfully guidebook, you can insert this dynamic link and it will pull whatever guidebook is associated to that property when you create properties in StayFi. And if you use this little trackable link thing here, when you actually send these links, you'll know how many people are clicking on them when they're sent out. The second campaign is called the review campaign, which is pretty awesome. Basically, once the guest has been a certain number of days, which you can set here, they'll get a text message asking them to review their stay. They click this link and they're brought to this page where they rate you out of 5 stars. If they rate you 5 stars, you can then select to have them go to Google, Facebook, or your own website, or you can leave all these options here. And then we show you like how to get these links. But here, for instance, they're being sent to Google to leave a review. If the guest gives you less than 5 stars, you have this option to collect feedback. And that's really awesome because in this case, Stay Duvet decided to collect this 24 hours in. So if they do get any negative reviews, they can actually address them while the guest is still staying there and hopefully prevent a bad review on Airbnb or Vrbo or another booking site. And then if they're having a great time, you're getting that 5-star review potentially sent to Google. And I've checked Stay Duvet's Google page and they have like so many 5-star reviews now because of this campaign, which is what's going to appear whenever you Google them. Google will show the Google review first when you Google Stay Duvet. So you'll see all the 5-star reviews they've been getting on Google, which is awesome. And so that campaign is really popular, especially I would say, if you want to get ahead of any bad reviews, you can collect those while the guest is still in the property if you set it up like one day in. And then finally, you can, of course, send every single guest a group text that has stayed with you, which you can be anything you want. And if you do want to say like, hey, have you like our busy season's coming up, the summer or whatever happens to be in your location, here's a link to book the same property you stayed in last year, and you can actually send them the listing URL for whatever property they stayed in. Or maybe you're launching a new market or a new property and you just want to announce that to everybody, and you want to make sure that as many of your past guests as possible are receiving this message, so you can send text and email out to all your past guests here. That is the presentation so far. So I will now open it up to questions. That's pretty much all the content I wanted to cover here. So if you want to go check out StayFi, use our email tool. Again, you can sign up on stayfi.com. There is no contracts. It's all month to month. And like I mentioned before, you can use email only. You don't have to use Wi-Fi. So it's really up to you, depending on what tools you want to use and how you want to market to your guests. If anyone has a question, they can just click the Q&A button. And if not, we can wrap this up and send an email out with the recording to everybody. So just let me know. I'll give people another minute to answer questions, or we'll just finish early today. What is your opt-out rate for email? Great question. So I'll actually show you what I think is pretty typical. So if you were to create a journey here, you'll see in this detail here, email sent, the open rate, and the unsubscribe rate. So a welcome series, this is pretty normal, like 1 to 2%. This is for over the course of the entire automation. So over the course of sending both emails, so each email probably had about sub 1% unsubscribe, and 64% open, which again is crazy, crazy high. And then we validate all the emails, so the bounce rate is going to be super low. Nicole will be sending out the slide and the recording. And then Annette, question about StayFi Wi-Fi. We use Wi-Fi 6 access points. So we're going to be providing like the best hardware possible that you can get in the market. And you plug it into your router and it will just broadcast a new Wi-Fi network. And then when you create splash pages, you can have them show really, really whatever you want. So, you can have different splash pages for each property. So this is what the guest sees when they log into the Wi-Fi, send their information, hit connect, and then it will trigger whatever automations you set up from email or text automatically. How do you avoid your domain from getting blacklisted as a spam source? Fantastic question. Few things. One is don't email people that have not opted in to your email marketing program and don't know who you are. And obviously, when you collect emails through a splash page, you're getting that opt-in permission from guests. So people are not going to mark those emails as spam, or if they do, it's going to be a very low percentage. So we don't, haven't seen that issue from our users. What I have seen people do, which could be bad, is let's say you have a guest list that you collected for the last 8 years and you've never emailed any of those people, and then suddenly you're going to email everybody, including the guests that stayed with you 8 years ago. They're not going to remember who you are, and they will sometimes mark those as spam. So if you are starting a new email program, start by emailing the most recent guests and then add older ones over time, because your email domain will kind of get warmed up. So you have to develop a good email reputation by emailing first people that are likely to open and engage with your content without unsubscribing or marking as a spam. And then over time, you can start adding in some of those older emails if you want to. Just don't open a new email marketing tool, upload 100,000 emails who've never heard from you and send them an email, because that will result in you getting high spam complaints and getting blacklisted. Can we set up our onboarding screen now to include text marketing? You can't like retroactively add text marketing if the guests are already there. So I would recommend setting it up in StayFi, and then your next guest group will have the option to opt in and you can send them a welcome text message. Why do you use Switchback? They seem much easier than ActiveCampaign. So the actual email tool is Campaign Monitor. Switchback's just our agency partner. I would say ActiveCampaign is a more complex, expensive tool. It's more akin to like a full service CRM. So we really wanted to offer a tool that is easy to use, accessible, affordable, and gives all the features that our users need, and not a bunch of ancillary ones that most people wouldn't use. So I'd say there are more expensive CRM tools out there that can do a lot more interesting things from a technology standpoint, but are probably more suited towards enterprises and not small businesses. So that's why we went with Campaign Monitor. Can you please repeat what you said about how not to get blacklisted? I said, don't email people that you have never interacted with that are old emails, even if you collected them legally. Definitely don't email lists of emails you've purchased or came from somewhere else. And so if you are starting emailing for the first time, start with people that stayed with you recently, and then warm up your email reputation before adding older data that has a higher likelihood of unsubscribing and marking as a spam, because you don't want to email a huge list out of the blue without ever emailing before. When you turn on text marketing in StayFi, like this customer, and you activate it, it will automatically add the opt-in and phone number field to your splash pages. So all that will be taken care of if you turn text marketing on in your account. Sweet. I loved all the questions. Awesome. Thanks so much for attending. And obviously, if you need to contact us on StayFi's website, we have a demo page. And on that demo page, there is a link to book time with us down here. Or you can hit book a demo, it will take you to the same place. And so if you want to meet with us one-on-one, just go to stayfi.com/demo and you can book time with us. And then of course, if you want to create an account, you just hit sign up here and that will take you to opening an account, and then you can open an email marketing account if you want to use that tool. Thanks everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And thanks so much for joining because it was super fun talking to you guys and showing you through everything.